Today I'm going to show you how to take a simple piece of paper and create some pop-up art. So in this one, I've created a landscape image with some bears walking along a little lake here. I created a second one as well to show a little bedroom here. So I'm going to show you how to create this, and then you can be creative and make your own. To begin creating your picture, you first want to come up with a plan. So I think for my next one, I'm going to have a picture that looks like this, a little mouse that smells the cupcake right here. And I think these are the two images that I'm going to want to have pop out at me. So when I look at these two, I see that my cupcake is larger than the mouse. So when I cut this piece, I'm going to have to make sure it's a little bit larger than the other piece. Now to start my picture, I'm going to start with one of my blank pieces of paper here. And I'm just going to fold it so that the bottom half goes up towards the top, match up the sides, and then squish it down so I have two equal pieces there. Then along the folded edge, the side that doesn't open, so if the top opens, that's not where I'm going to cut. Down here along the folded edge, that is where I'm going to cut. Now I said I needed one larger area that pops out and one smaller one. So what that means is I'm just going to make a cut that comes up here. It's about as long as my pinky on mine. And then I'm going to do another cut so that I have sort of this square area here. And they should be equal lengths. If you struggle with that, you might want to take your pencil and just make sure that they're lined up a little bit there. And then I'm also going to make a smaller one for the mouse that I have. So close to where the cupcake is going to be, I'm just going to make a smaller cut because I only want a small piece for my mouse. And again, make sure that they are similar in length. If they're not and one side's just a little bit longer, then just make them even. So I have two big cuts for my larger area, two smaller cuts for my smaller area here. And the next step that's going to happen is I'm going to open this, sort of like a book here, and then I'm going to pull the part forward that I cut. So now this one, the big one right here, I'm going to pull towards me, and same thing with the smaller one. I'm going to pull that towards me. So they look like this, and then I'm just going to close it. So it kind of looks like it's missing these squares that I just cut here. Like that. And then when I open it, it's going to look like this. At this point, I can start to attach the pieces and draw the background of my picture. So for this step, I'm going to need the second piece of paper that I have, and I'm going to create a cupcake that I'm going to glue to the front of this piece right here. So I'm going to use pencil first so that if I make a mistake, I can erase it, and then I'm going to trace over it with marker. Now to start drawing a cupcake, I'm just going to draw a diagonal line that comes in like this. Then I'm not going to draw a straight line across. I'm going to make it curve just a little bit. And then it needs to have another diagonal line going the opposite direction. So it's sort of like this. Then across the top, I'm again going to have a curved line down. It's not going to be straight. Like this, doesn't need to be perfect. And then on top, to make the icing, I'm just going to make these sort of long flattened ovals, but they're a little bit bent across. And then each one I make is going to be a little bit smaller than the one below it. And then right on top, I'm just going to have one that comes to a point. Now to draw my mouse, it's almost going to look a little bit like a raindrop, but I want the point to be facing towards the cupcake here. So I'm just going to draw a rainbow shape, not rainbow, raindrop shape, like that. Then give it a nice ear right here. Give him a little nose, a little mouth that's smiling because he likes the way it smells. And then his little eye like this, a tail that's curved up. You might even be reaching for this cupcake here. Okay, and now that I have a good shape, I can trace them with marker and then cut them out. Now before you attach these pieces to your picture here, you're going to want to draw the background because it'll be a little bit more difficult to draw on here once you have your pieces attached. Now that I have the background drawn, I can go ahead and start to glue my pieces onto the paper here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it to the front of each of these little boxes that come out. So this one will go here and this one will go here. Now when you're done, you'll be left with this really cool picture that pops out at you. And if you want to make it look even nicer, you can go ahead and color it using whatever coloring materials you have at home. So take your time, come up with a plan, and create your own fun pop-out art.